Hello everyone, my name is Jānis Beikmanis and I have been a member of Case Design Team for Financial Modeling World Cup Season 2021. Today, together with you, I would like to do a small walkthrough of one of the cases I prepared. It's called Consultant's Nightmare, and I hope you will learn something new today and enjoy the video. So for those who are not familiar with the case and did not participate in the stage, I will do some small introductions. So basically, we have a company called Their Mother, and the stage was divided in two parts. The first part was we were given 33 general ledgers, monthly general ledgers, and we needed to process these general ledgers in some kind of summary format, which I will show you later how it looks like. And the second part was related to valuation concepts and valuation methodology. However, today we will focus only purely on the part number one, general ledger processing, and for that I will use some Power Query knowledge. So if we look at the GLs which we were given, so basically those look something like this. We had the participants were given a new Excel file with 33 monthly ledgers, every monthly ledger in the new sheet. And let me take a look. There were approximately 400 accounts every month, but the trick here was that in the future months, some new accounts were coming in, some accounts were deleted. So to somehow clean the data manually, it would take a participant too much time to get a good score. So basically, those general ledgers. What I was when creating this case, what I was expecting from the participants were to process these general ledgers in some kind of summary format, which and you can see the example here for the income statement. That we have some financial positions and we have these data already aggregated. And basically how it looks like is that we have some account numbers which are for the income statement, and we have values for every month here. And afterwards we map to the financial statement positions by using the mapping file which was provided by the management or were given to the participants basically. So yeah, as I already mentioned, we will go through together how to get to this income statement summary. However, we will do that only for the balance sheet now, because the same steps should be taken for the income statement, and basically to not waste time, we will do that only for the one part. So to start that, we go to get data. We will open Power Query. We will use get data from workbook. We will open this Excel with the GLs. And the first thing we will want to do is we will want to transform the data, right? We will transform the data. So our Power Query editor is opening. What we can see here, we have basically every sheet here. We have some data for it. Then we have 3 columns which we do not need. We quickly remove those columns and we expand the data so we get something similar to what we saw already on Excel. So while it's opening, so basically you can see here, and what now the Power Query did, it just put every sheet one below another. So basically we have all the rows in the January 18 sheet, then we have all the rows in the February 18 sheet, and etc. So, and what we now want to do, we want to quickly clean this data so we can get something similar to a flat file. So the first thing I see here is that our row number 5 looks something like headers for us. So we will quickly remove top rows. So let's remove the first 4 rows and let's use our first row as a header. And you see that Power Query already recognized that our first column will be date column. So we can change that to date. Then we have some account number and we have some opening balance and so basically the values of the general ledgers. What we see here, it shows some kind of error. We will look at that error a little bit later. But right now what I want to do is, you see we have those empty cells in Excel. The Power Query recognizes them as nil. We want that to be a number, so we will replace values, we will replace nils with zeros. So we quickly change that and we see that still we have some errors. So we are gonna think, why is that? But let's go to our account number and see how it looks like. We see that there are some accounts with the letters inside. And afterwards I will tell you why, but for now we will just change this column for Power Query to recognize it as text. And you will see the explanation later when we will be already on Excel. And the next thing we want to do is we want to make sure that our file looks good. And if I quickly run it through, I go down and I see, wow, there are something wrong here. And I see that starting from February, we have the same 4 rows where we do not, like 5 rows, sorry, where we do not have the data of which was basically the first rows which we deleted on January. So it's the same for all the months. So what we want to do in that case, we want to quickly filter it. So we load all rows, we will filter nulls, and we will filter something which is with the letters. And once we did that, also our value rows show no error. So the next thing we want to do is we want to have some kind of column which gives us value for income statement and value for balance sheet. And in the case description it was written that you basically need to get monthly turnovers for income statement. And we see that here we have some turnover debit, which is like if we have some expense, we put it as a debit. And if we have some sales, for example, we put it as a credit. And I do not want to use both rows, so I will just create, both columns. So I will just create a new column. I will call it turnover. And after this turnover, I will just use that it's turnover credit minus turnover debit, so that my sales are positive and expenses are negative. And I want to do the same thing for the balance sheet. I will just write ending balance, and this time I will use ending balance debit minus ending balance credit to get assets as positive value and liabilities and equity as negative. So we want to change these to the numbers. So let's make it as a decimal number. And now we basically anymore do not need these initial data, as we have already created these columns which we will use in Excel. So we just remove these rows. So now what you can see is we have some kind of something similar to a flat file where we have date column, we have text columns, and we have one value column for income statement and one value column for balance sheet. So let's quickly close and load this one. Let's call it flat file. And now what I want to do is if we look at this income statement overview, we see that we have all the accounts for income statement and we have values for the every month here in those columns. So basically what I want to get now is that in our flat file, these files are repeating itself after every month, right? But we want to get all the unique account numbers. So to do that, I will do a small trick here. I will create a copy of this flat file. And what I want to do now here is I want to remove all the duplicates for the account numbers. Sorry. So basically what I will do here, I will go to data, remove duplicates. And what it does, it just leaves me with all the unique values. And now we see that those accounts are on some kind of ascending order, right? They are going from 1 to 2, 3, and etc. But at the end of our this database, we will see that all the new accounts which are added on the later months, yeah, which were not on the January, they are left on the end of our database. And you know, we want, for example, this account number which starts with 2, we want that to be together with the accounts which starts with 2, so that we can quickly copy and paste those accounts on the balance sheet overview. So what we now do, we will sort it on ascending order, and this was the reason which I already told you why we use this account number and renamed like made it as a text, so the text recognizes it as a text, so that we can do this sorting. So the next step, we just take all the accounts which are related to balance sheet. So basically, we are going till 5920 accrued liabilities, and only the next account, which is 6110, it's already related to income statement. So we can just quickly copy and paste these ones, right? And we have our account number and our account name. So the next thing we want to do here is we want to get to the values for every particular period, right? And to get this one, I will use index match function. However, I will use the match function with two conditionals. So let's go to our flat file. So what we want to index our ending balance. I'll do it like this one. Put dollar signs, then add this one last row, and I will do match. And how I do this double those two conditions, I will match one, and I will match it with, right now I will say that my account number is equal to, and I will go back to my flat file, is equal to account number in my flat file. Right, I will put dollar signs here and this one row. So basically what it now will do, if my account number will be equal to the account number in the flat file, this one expression will give me 1. If it will not be equal, it will give me 0. And we will multiply this expression with our second expression, which will be, we will say that our date is equal to, and we will go again to our flat file, will be equal to our date column, right? And I will finish with the index match. So let's go through once and again. This is pretty important topic here. So basically what we now did was we made two conditions, that if our date is equal, we will get 1, and if our account number is equal, we will also get 1. So 1 times 1 will give us 1, and that we match with 1. If basically one of these expressions are not fulfilling, it will give us 0, and 1 times 0 is 0, and match function will not work. So the next thing we want to do is we want to put dollar signs for our account number. We want that our column, so basically we put dollar sign before C, is sticks, and now we do the same for the date, but only now we fix the row. One more thing I like to do here is I like to divide everything by 1000, just because I like to have thousands on my overview sheet. So one more thing which we will get here is that basically all those accounts which were not on January but were added later will give us basically some errors. It will give us NAs, right? That the Excel will not find in the flat file this account number at the particular month, because it was just not there. So therefore we want to put at the beginning the function if error, and at the end we will just write, for example, that it's equal to this symbol. So and now we can just go to the last and go to down. I do not have these borders, so I cannot use shortcuts. It's faster this one. We see that these are zeros, and I'm thinking that something wrong, but actually no. The file is like the Excel is calculating everything and just updating once it is ready. So yeah, while it is updating, yeah, we are seeing that it's working. It gives us some zeros and it's updated. So this would be it. So now what we want to do is we had this mapping file, right? So basically we will now try to do this balance sheet summary statement, and we are given these fixed assets. Basically we have given financial statement positions, and we have mapping file where we have these accounts and we have to which position it should be mapped. So what I will do here, I will again use index match. So what I will index, I will go to mapping file, I will index my financial position, and now I will match, let's go back, I will match my account number, and I want that it's equal to account number recognized on my mapping file, right? And I will go 0. And what I see here, we have NAs, right? And why we have NAs? We have NAs due to the fact that we have account numbers as a text here, but on the mapping file, it recognizes it as a general and basically as a number, right? So what we need to do here, we want to change all of these numbers as a text. As a text, and we go back and we will think that it's working, but we look and it's still not working. And this is the reason, and the reason why is because once it's recognized as a number and we change it as a text, somehow Excel still thinks that it's a number. And definitely some of you know some better way how to tackle this problem, but my I would call it street approach. What I have found useful is I copy all these accounts and I open Notepad. I open Notepad and paste all these accounts. So basically in the Notepad it's recognized as text. What I do here, I copy again all these account numbers from Notepad, paste them into Excel, and now I go back to my balance sheet overview file and I see that now it's working. Yeah, it's interesting, now it's working, and I have found this really useful on my daily work. So we want to get that this is going down, and yeah, what I want to do, maybe I don't like that I have NAs on my workings, so I will again say that if it's showing error, give me please this symbol, right? So we just copy the same formula down and we have these errors here. So we do not have errors anymore. So basically what we have now have done, we have got to the balance sheet overview where we have all the accounts for the balance sheet and all the values at a particular month. So the next thing we want to do is we just quickly want to have balance sheet summary file sheet ready, and we can do it quickly with some if formula. So basically we have some kind of range, which is our balance sheet overview here. We have this range, we put $sign. Our criteria, is that it should be equal to our financial position, and again we want to put $sign to the column, and our sum range is the same for at particular month, right? So, and again we want $sign, but we want $signs now for only rows, because columns we want to, if we use our formula also for other columns, we want that it changes. So basically we got it here, we use this formula here, we go down, and now what we want to do, we see that we have some colors, some columns, so we get some here, we fill this formula right. So let's go do the same for net working capital. Let's do the same for net cash. Yeah, so basically what we are doing, I'm just summing these positions for reported net debt and assets. And here we will have it's just a fixed asset plus net working capital plus net debt. So, and again, yeah, and basically I could, what I like to do, have something like this, and we have two rows where we have just zeros. Sorry, wrong button. And we just do it here. So, of course, we can do some formatting, but maybe we'll not waste time for that. And basically, this is how we get to the balance sheet summary file. And let's see maybe quickly to the questions which participants needed to answer to get some points, and see how fast we can answer them if we have done all of these steps. So basically we will answer questions 1 to 6. The first two questions are pretty simple. We just need to find what was the value at some particular month for one income statement account, which were bank charges, and one balance sheet account, which were long-term loans. So basically how it could be done is just going to the balance sheet overview, finding these long-term loans. We just control find long-term. Let's see long-term loans from banks. Let's see on March 2019. We just see March 2019, and it's basically 9.461. And on the answers we have 9.460.5. So basically we can answer this one. Let's go further. We have what is the count of distinct income statement accounts, right? So basically these are the accounts which we were getting for our income statement overview. So basically we did it for balance sheet, but the same was done for the income statement. And here what we can do is we just look at how many accounts are there. Count is 177, so let's look whether the answer was there. It's 177, so we quickly get this answer too, and 50 points. So the next question is related whether our summary sheet, income statement summary sheet was mapped correctly. So we want to see EBITDA for September till July, and we can go to our income statement summary sheet, and we see that the EBITDA for September till July is just the sum of all those months EBITDAs, which is 2540, and it's one of the answers here, and we got 50 points. The next question, number 5, is also related whether you correctly mapped the balance sheet summary sheet, and here it does not make economic sense to sum the net cash numbers at particular months, the balances, but we just had to do it to get to the right answers, so that we see that the model is correct. Yeah, and the last question, which is maybe one of my favorite ones when I created the case, was answerable. I think uh, really quickly if we had made this flat file. So basically, we wanted to see how many items have ending balance that is not equal to 0, right? And if we go to our flat file, we see that also for some income statement accounts we have ending balance, which is just the sum for the um, mm, uh, all the month like accumulated this turnover or yeah, accumulated turnover for all the months. So to get the number here, we can use COUNTIF formula. We will use COUNTIF for this for column F, and we want to see that it is larger, smaller than 0. And we close bracket, and what we see that there are 5,922 items which have some kind of ending balance value here. And question number 6 asked us for that, and we got to the result. So yeah, this is it from my side right now. I hope this was helpful for you guys, and I hope that you learned something new. And I think this was one of the fastest solutions how to solve these first 6 points. So yeah, feel free to comment below. I will definitely be interested in your calculations and your modeling ways. So keep in touch, and good luck in the season 2022 in Financial Modeling World Cup. Bye.